Edge control is a technique used to influence the number of edges oriented in OLL while solving F2L. So here's the most basic case. When you have F2L block paired up right here and a backwards L on the top left. To solve this normally, you would do something like that. Get a bar OLL. In this case, it's a super easy one. But if you do what's called sledgehammer, R prime, F, R, F prime, you'll get all edges oriented on top, which is useful as you usually get a better OLL, and you can do ZBLL or COLL if you know that. So here it's just the normal, I think it's normal OLL or COLL, like that. And then the inverse right here. So this pair is on the left and the L is in the top right. And you do hedge slammer, which is L, F prime, L prime, F, to get all edges oriented on top. And so those two cases right there are super easy. The difference of time and speed, move count, is minimal from doing this or from doing that. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so it's not too big of a deal. So it's definitely worth it in that case, in those two cases. And then, for example, this case right here, you got the pair in the front again, but this time you have a horizontal line. So you could do F prime, L prime, U prime, L, F to get all edges oriented on top. That case right there, I wouldn't use in a solve because that uses like L and F moves, and especially for two-handed, it would be better to just do the OLL and then do PLL, because the difference in speeds of OLLs and PLLs two-handed isn't very much. But for one-handed, I might consider doing it. And then, so this is the reverse case, opposite case. The bar is here, line here. And also depends on what angle you're holding the cube from. If I'm here, I'm 100% gonna just insert into the back like that. But if I'm over here, two-handed, I'd still probably do that. But one-handed, I'd go F, R, U, R prime, F prime, which is pretty fast, and it's no L moves like that other algorithm. And it also depends on how many ZBLL and COLL algorithms you know. The more ZBLL you know, the more worth it is, because then you can just do ZBLL and then you're done your solve. So another case, so you have this right here. If you do normal insert, you get a dot OLL, which can be really bad. So what you could do is do sledgehammer to get a better, much better OLL. So that's two edges oriented instead of 0. Or you could do, there's two different ways you can solve this. You can do, put it U2 sledge, U2 sledge. That's okay. I prefer to do this right here. R prime, F prime, R, U2, M prime, U prime, M to get all edges oriented on top. And then the inverse case of that is R, wide R, U, wide R prime, U2, M prime, U, M. So both of those are pretty decent speed. So I'm likely to use those in one-handed probably. Two-handed, I would just do a sledge to get two edges oriented to avoid the dot OLL. And then some other last couple cases I know. I only know about, say, like 10 cases. So here, we have the pair in the front again. L is in the bottom left corner this time, or block. And then what you can do is do U, F, R, U prime, R prime, F prime to get all edges. And then the inverse of that case is here. We can do wide R, U prime, wide R prime, U, R, wide R, U, wide R prime. Get all edges. And then you can also do edge control during your like second and third pair of F2L. It doesn't have to be only the last pair. Some other cases like this, where the pair isn't paired up. For example, here we have this corner here and the edge here. What you could do is go like that to pair it up, and then I guess do sledge. Or you could do from this angle, so you got a bar, then do R prime, F, R, F prime, R, U, R prime to get all edges. And then for something like this case right here, where if you have these two paired up but opposites, I mean this flipped, from this angle right here and you solve it this way, you'll get all edges. But if you solve it this way, you only get two. But if there was a yellow, this yellow on top here, and you did it from this angle, you would maintain all edges on top. So if I do it like this, you get all edges. And then lastly, something like this. This just takes time to recognize the cases. Instead of breaking this up like that, you see you're gonna get no edges. You can instead do this to get at least two edges oriented. That way you avoid dot OLLs. Last case I wanted to show is when you have this pair ready to be paired up, and if you pair it up, you get a dot OLL. You can instead do this algorithm right here. R prime, D prime, wide R, U, wide R prime, D, R2, U, R prime.